Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis. Me once again. Welcome back to another video game review, and this time is going to be on my most anticipated game of the year, Resident Evil 2, the remake. Now, after Resident Evil 7, which basically brought the series back to life in terms of its horror roots, um, Capcom announced that they were doing a remake to Resident Evil 2, which they already did a remake to Resident Evil 1, and that is basically one of the best video game remakes of all time, as well as one of the best in the series, along with the original Resident Evil 2. You play as both Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. Now, I beat I played and beat the Leon Kennedy campaign, but I never gotten around to playing the Claire Redfield campaign in the original. So I don't know what happened in the original Resident Evil 2 campaign for Claire Redfield, but I do remember quite a bit of the Leon Kennedy campaign. So the difference between this one is it's a third-person game, just like with Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, and so yeah, it's basically that plus enhanced graphics and better voice acting and so on. And does the game live up to the hype? Well, yeah, basically, yeah. I love this game. This is definitely one of the best in the series by far. I'm not sure if I would say it's better than the original Resident Evil 2. I mean, there are stuff that's definitely better than the original Resident Evil 2, but let's get to it. So, first off, I gotta mention this is one of the best looking survival horror games I've ever seen. The graphics are so well detailed, they're so improved here. This is by far the best looking Resident Evil game to date. Like when you shoot the zombies, oh, and zombies are back, and the game does give you quite a bit of ammo, but don't let it fool you because you have to shoot the zombies in the head quite a lot. And definitely aim for the head. Do not go aiming for any other bodily part. Just aim for the head because that will take them down easily. I mean, you're going to do that anyway. So basically, there's that, and the enemies, once again, they are terrifying. Oh, and there's this one guy just that's probably even scarier than the version in Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2. That's the guy, I forgot what his name was, but he's in a black suit and he stalks you, and every time you make a certain sound, he'll come charging towards you, and you don't get to finish him until the very end. At least in the Leon Kennedy campaign, he's like, you can take him down like halfway through the Claire Redfield, except you don't really take him down, but I'm not going to get into that since it would be spoiling. Now, anyways, when we get into the characters definitely have more character to them, and since they're a better voice actor, they're a lot more memorable in this. Come on. I mean, Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4, he was still very memorable for that, and as well as Claire Redfield in other Resident Evil games. And definitely when it came to this, most of them are pretty good. There are some characters I didn't really care for, just a couple though. But for the most part, the way the characters were portrayed was actually pretty satisfying. And given that it's a remake to a really old game, definitely improves and has it definitely improved the characters in terms of personality, which has me caring about them more, like Marvin and so on. And also, this is one of the most violent games I have ever played. In fact, this might have some of the most detailed gore out there, like really. Everything is well detailed. Every time you shoot someone, they get easily wounded. Like you don't just shoot at them and just blood comes out and then there's nothing on their bodies. No, there is stuff on their bodies. Like when I was using a knife, kind of like in Dead Space. Like even though the zombie was dead, I tried to see you can cut their limbs off, which I was like, oh my god, this. I can tell they took their time with this, and basically they did. They tried really hard to get the gore and the effects look exactly as well as they could, and they definitely succeed at that. Um, Now, in terms of both campaigns, I did kind of find it a bit disappointing that sometimes the Leon and Claire campaigns, they're kind of the same, except with the Claire Redfield one, you do have to. There's a part that involves this little girl who, thankfully, you do not have to save every 5 seconds when she's about to get captured by an enemy, because she's not with you a lot. She's mostly in the cutscenes. So, no, it's not that Ashley crap that happens in Resident Evil 4. But yeah, for the most part, although the locations, like in the mansion, they're both in different locations. Although here's the thing, though, I would have liked it more if Claire was in a different location and Leon, they were both in different locations, but no, they're in the same position, and but they're both. So I'm wondering if Leon's in the mansion, then where does Claire go? And if Claire's in the mansion, then where does Leon go? Like, if you play the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But for the most part, there are differences. Ada makes a return. She's in the Leon Kennedy campaign, but not in the Claire Redfield campaign. Also, the girl, she's in the Clara Redfield campaign, but not. See, I don't know if I don't know if there was a scene with a girl in the Clara Redfield campaign, but you know, I never played the Clara Redfield campaign, so that's one thing I do not know. So, in terms of how long the game is, I spent more time with the Leon campaign more than the Claire campaign. So overall, I think I put like 16 hours into the game total. And oh, and the puzzles, you can't have a Resident Evil game without puzzles. The puzzles were actually, some of them are quite the same as in the original Resident Evil 2, but some of them, a lot of them are actually pretty easy and not so much confusing. In fact, I didn't really get confused on what I'm supposed to do because the map shows you if an area is red, that means you haven't gotten everything that's in there. If it's blue, that basically means you're done in that room. You don't need to do anything else. Oh, and the typewriters are back, and you do not need ink ribbons, which is pretty cool because I had to save quite a bit. Now, oh yeah, also when you get hit, when a zombie comes, you basically cannot move. He just the biting animation, he just bites your throat and gets off you. That's just like in the original Resident Evil 2. So basically, it's what a remake should be. And all in all, I had an amazing time with this. The graphics are gorgeous. Everything looks so well done and totally not out of place, basically in place. Uh, the combat is super solid. I like the way that, although the aim assist doesn't really always work in terms of assist mode, so sometimes I had to get it in the right position, then it can auto aim for me. So yeah. Oh yeah, also the bosses were, for the most part, they were pretty fun. Most of them, they're basically the same in the two campaigns. So yeah, and I could say that this game definitely has a lot of, for the most part, a lot of replayability. Excuse me, just like in terms of the other Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 4. And I can say it's definitely up there, and I enjoyed this a bit more than Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I enjoyed a bit more than the original the Resident Evil remake as well. So I might have enjoyed Resident Evil 2, the remake, a bit more than both of those games. I wouldn't say I love it more than Resident Evil 4, but I can say this is a strong contender for a game of the year. It's going to be pretty hard for Kingdom Hearts 3 to top this, but I don't know. We'll see. I am so glad this game didn't disappoint. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. It was really sweet, and it was definitely worth every single penny. So yeah, if you're a fan of the franchise, and if you're still not sure about this one, I'm just going to tell you, I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the slightest. Hell, I mean, most people really aren't disappointed in this. And it definitely, so, it was a good thing that we got a demo to bring in more of the hype because it certainly did deliver. The game delivered. I really hope Capcom can do even better. I doubt it though, but I don't know. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yes, I will be getting Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm actually going to be getting it tomorrow. No, I'm not during midnight or anything like that. But yeah, so that's basically it. And I'll see you guys later. Word out.